I'm Rene Ritchie, your YouTube Creator Liaison, and I'm here with Jacqueline Dallas, one of the most innovative creators. I was going to say the tech space, but she's branching out into everything interesting that's happening in the world that will be. I'm also here with Willms, who runs product for YouTube on television, and we're going to explore exactly what that means. First of all, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, an absolute honor to be here. Huge fan of both of you. So this could be a great episode.
Yeah, this will be awesome. Thank you for having me.
So one of the worst kept secrets in the world right now is that YouTube is blowing up on television. People are getting an increased share of not just views, but watch time, which I think is really interesting because creators are used to just indexing on how many people watch, but now they're seeing how much longer those people watch on television.
Yeah, it's been incredible. I like to joke it's a 10-year overnight success in the making. It's something we've been invested in at YouTube for a very long time. And we're seeing more and more viewers watch on TV. And so we're trying to just make an incredible product for viewers and creators. So yeah, I'm excited to talk to you all about it.
It is the only thing that runs on my television. Like, I'm not ashamed to say that, but like I turn on my TV and I'm turning on YouTube.
Love that. Yeah, I feel like that's been the sentiment for the last year, that everyone from both a creator perspective and an audience perspective is moving towards like this longer content and higher quality.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because, when you're on your phone, like you're snacking a lot. Like sometimes you're waiting on the line or you're waiting for something. But when you sit back and you have like this giant screen and typically like a really good audio system, maybe you're totally dedicated to a longer production, sort of like challenge accepted video. But maybe you're doing housework or you're cooking and you just want to look up and make a human connection.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time talking to viewers, like, why are you watching YouTube on your TV? And they generally tell us three things. Number one, if I have a favorite piece of content, a favorite like creator, I generally want to watch them on like the biggest screen, the best screen in my house, and that's the TV. And so that's one of the things we hear from viewers. Two, it's like the best way to watch YouTube with your friends or your family or your buddies. And three, if I want to watch YouTube while I'm doing something else with my hands, for example, I'm cooking dinner, I'm folding laundry, I can put it on the TV, I can watch while I do something else. And so there's a lot of different ways why people watch YouTube. But yeah, it's exciting to kind of continue to see the growth.
I think one of the things we've had to get used to it as creators is once upon a time, all our views would come in very quickly. But now if someone is waiting for the like nighttime to watch like one of your videos on the television or the weekend maybe, like you'll still get the same amount of views, but those views start to happen like towards the weekend, towards the end of the day.
Ooh, that's super interesting. Yeah, I think it's changed viewer behavior in like two fundamental ways. The first one is like maybe when they're watching, and then maybe the second one is how long they're watching. Which I think from a creator perspective, I think a lot about like emotional intimacy and depth with an audience. And we were talking about this before the podcast. Like if someone watches you for a longer period of time, it's kind of like if you see a friend more frequently, you just inherently feel a lot closer to them. And so I think what TV is unlocking is this ability to like make longer episodes and have more emotional connection with the audience.
I love that. And I love that also people are watching shorts on television, which to
That's
some people
wild.
feels counterintuitive. But to me, like, I grew up in the day of broadcast television, and there was like, The More You Know. I was in Canada, so Heritage Moments. There was breaking news insert. There were all these short form things on TV that came at me, and it feels like YouTube has just taken everything that's existed, whether it's longer, like podcasts feel like drive time radio, or live feels like drive time radio. Podcasts feel like those longer things. There's like, it feels like everything that we've had in traditional media, we now have the digital version.
One of the unique things about YouTube on TV, I tell this to everyone all the time when I talk about it, is most of the streamers on TV, they're just kind of traditional movies or shows. YouTube has everything.
Yeah.
You know, shows from our creators, movies from media cos, music, podcasts, sports, news, gaming, and even shorts, like you mentioned. We have an incredible kind of dedicated viewer experience with shorts that's really resonating with viewers. And again, when you think of shorts, you might think, well, it's mobile first. We asked a lot of viewers, why are you watching shorts on the TV? And again, it's the best way to watch shorts with others. You put it up on the screen. And so that's really one of the unique things about YouTube on TV is just the variety of content formats, how we've made great experiences for them on the TV. And the other kind of, really unique thing you mentioned earlier, Rene, is not only are viewers leaning back, but they're also what we call leaning in. And, we were talking about this earlier. one of the magical things about YouTube is the engagement that with the content and the creator. And we work really hard. And also, I think a very unique thing with us on the TV is you can subscribe to the creator. You can read the comments and you can really lean in and use your remote. So it's not always just sitting back. Of course, you can do that. But you can also lean in and engage with the content. So we've worked really hard to capture all the magic of YouTube from the web and the phone and bring it to the TV.
Yeah, I love that. And one of the things that you've announced before and you're working on, and I'm starting to see more, is the idea of shows. Like we had podcasts where a creator could make a playlist into a podcast and it would get album art and all the things that traditionally go with a podcast. And now they can make a playlist into a show and get the same sort of treatment that you'd expect from like a network show.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I talk to a lot of creators, and one of the things they were telling me all the time is, I have this amazing content. Can you help me make it shine on the TV? And so we've invested in a show's product. It's rolling out now. Creators are able to package up all their videos into a traditional show format, so they can break it up into seasons. Viewers can come and they can watch the episodes sequentially. When they turn off their TV and they go away, and maybe they come back a day later and turn their TV back on and open up YouTube, they can continue right where they left off. It's modern, it's cinematic, big thumbnails, big art, and it really kind of packages up creators' content in a way that you want to watch it on TV.
I love that, because creators like you sometimes have different shows within your channel.
Yeah, like we have two formats. One where we'll interview like tech CEOs, and another one where we're like explaining like revolutionary technology and like the future it's going to unlock. And I feel like so much of things in life is like how you brand things. And playlists are obviously really cool, but I think the show product is just epic because it feels like you're like logging onto like a Netflix or a traditional streamer where you have like the professionalism, but then you have like the creator connection that you don't get on any of those platforms. So I'm so stoked about that. And I feel like if you're a creator watching, it also gives you the opportunity to like realize, I think a lot of the success that you have on YouTube is based around formats. Like, can you come up with a value prop that you can give the audience consistently over multiple episodes? And the show framework kind of forces you to think about that. Like, what would the show be? That means like every episode has to relate to this overall value prop. So I think for creators, it's a super exciting time to kind of reflect about like what you're going to create on YouTube for the next generation.
Yeah, I love that, because we do have this concept, like sometimes people think like what's the next video? They think of one at a time and not a series, but the series is what really draws people in.
Yeah, and so I mean, so much of our creators' content is episodic. It might not be episodic in the way where it's serial and you have to watch them back to back, but it's thematic and episodic, and shows will really help creators package it all up and make it look beautiful and make it easy for viewers to consume.
Who's your favorite creator that's doing shows right now?
Michelle Carre is a woman I talk to all the time who's doing just incredible stuff.
Agreed.
She has some amazing episodes. She comes to mind as maybe like my favorite creator who's really doing some incredible show content on YouTube.
She just did Tom Cruise's stunt in the last video. So sick. Yeah, that's a good one. And also I think what's interesting about her approach is that a lot of it is like the more like traditional media, but then distributed on YouTube.
And I watch a lot of, podcasts, which I kind of consider to be the new late night talk show.
Yeah.
And I watch them on my TV. And a lot of those podcasters, I think, are also just doing incredible things on YouTube, and you have viewers consuming that on their TV like they would a traditional late show.
You've also been really good about sort of pushing the boundaries of how we present creator content. Like before, you get like a little ribbon of a banner, and then you got like the full bleed banner, and now it's getting even more immersive.
Yeah, one of the things we launched about a year ago is what we call immersive channel previews. And so the idea would be when you go to a creator's channel and you sit there for a second, we'll just start playing the most recent video. Kind of this concept of traditional television, when you turn it on, you want to just kind of get right into the content. And so we're leaning more and more into that, just get videos playing, let viewers get into the content without a lot of friction. And so we've launched that on creator channels, and one of the things we're going to be doing is bringing that straight to the homepage. So as you're viewing, as you're loading the homepage, browsing the content, we'll start playing the content, and then as you dwell a little bit and you start consuming it, we'll go right into the watch page for you. Again, just to make it more seamless, make it feel TV-like, lean into what viewers want, which is just getting into their favorite creators' content.
I love that so much. All right, let's break some news. Well, I mean, they will have heard about it maybe, but I feel like we're breaking it anyway.
Let's go.
I'm going to back up just a little bit. One of the things I love about YouTube is the democratization of technology. So for example, there have been hardware solutions to multi-view video, like picture-in-picture in the past, but it depended what television you owned or what box you had. But when you did multi-view, none of that mattered. Every TV could enjoy multi-view. Now, there's televisions, like I have a television that has a dedicated processor that does upscaling, but I had to buy a television, and sort of like it's a more expensive television, to be honest with you, and some people may not have that. super resolution brings upscaling to everybody.
Yeah, it's going to be an incredible product. I mean, I'll back up maybe two as well and say a couple of things. Like first, when I talk to creators, they kind of always tell me two things around video quality. Number one is, hey, I've started uploading in 4K and it's amazing because I have all these viewers on the TV and it gives them a really great experience on their big 4K television. But I have this, content library where maybe 2, 3, 4 years ago, I wasn't filming and uploading in 4K and it's, standard definition, lower quality content. Like how can I, raise that to the level of, the 4K stuff I'm doing now? Like, can you help me with that, YouTube? And then for some creators, who are filming a lot of content and they're post-processing and they're editing it, doing it in 4K sometimes can be hard because you get big file sizes, you're transferring them around. And so the other thing I hear a lot is, can you help me kind of bring it up to the 4K quality without having to do all this editing and do all this processing? And so this is where the idea of this super resolution product came from, is these things that the creators were telling us, along with viewers telling us, like I mentioned earlier, that they want to watch it on their on their TV in the best quality possible. And so we came up with this super resolution product. And what it does is it makes new resolutions that are higher than the original transcode. So if you upload it, for example, in standard definition, we'll make super resolution transcodes that are going to be HD. This is going to be rolling out now up to 1080p. So if you're a creator who's uploading in 720, we'll take your video and we'll turn it into a 1080p video. And then moving into next year, we'll actually increase that to 4K. And so if you're a creator who's not uploading in 4K, your new uploads will get super resolution version that's in 4K. And then we'll also go through the back catalog and we'll update all your old content to be 4K as well.
How does that actually work? Like, what's the tech behind that?
Yeah, so we have, like Rene was mentioning, there's a lot of hardware products that'll do it for you. If you have a super fancy TV, it'll be baked into the hardware. It'll do it for you while you're watching. Some of the older TVs don't have it. So the beauty about YouTube is we'll bring it to all devices. And we kind of do it in the cloud and the server. Just like when you upload a video, how we make lower quality transcodes, we'll be doing the same technology, but we'll be using AI to analyze the picture and basically do the resolution for you, just like the camera would itself. And so, yeah, we're really democratizing this technology. It doesn't matter what hardware you have. It doesn't matter what kind of camera you have. We'll make it great for the viewers. And they can, again, they can choose if they want to watch the original you uploaded, they can choose that. If they want to watch the super resolution, they can choose that. And, we're always about, giving all these tools to creators and letting them choose how they want to use them. So if you're a creator too who doesn't want this technology for whatever reason on your videos, you'll be able to turn it off as well.
And that's important because there are some creators, for example, who might be deliberately trying to make something look like a television show from 20 years ago and they want it to be 480p and square and all.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you're a creator who's doing something specific and you don't want this applied, you can turn it off. And but we know that the majority of viewers, they want to watch their favorite creators' content in the highest quality possible. And so this will just bring it to more viewers, which we're really excited about.
What I think is interesting about it too is I've seen upscaling technology in the past and it's been fine. I feel like it doesn't actually look like it's making it high resolution. But then you were showing me examples where it genuinely looks significantly better, that I'm just also very excited from a technology standpoint that the tech has gotten so much better.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things over the years, the technology and using AI and cleaning up the pixels is just getting better and better. And yeah, I've seen some examples and we've been looking at a lot as we've been building it. And it's just night and day.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing.
And especially for a lot of the old videos that were 480p.
Dude, yes, 100%.
Yeah. What was Baby Jacqueline's original? Because you've been on YouTube a long time.
Yeah, my videos initially were maybe 1080, so they're not horrible, but 4K.
We're going to have to go back and look at some of your early stuff and see how it looks. And another cool thing about the technology, we've experimented with it to kind of see what it would do to audience. And for the creators, it's going to give them more viewership. And so we're really excited to give the creator this tool to just make their content shine, get more viewership on their videos on TV.
I don't know if this is one of the worst kept secrets in Hollywood, but this isn't new from a video movie production. A lot of the high end cameras were not very high resolution, and they upscaled them to make the bigger prints for movies, or they would do 3D, or they would do some other effect in post. A lot of this technology just wasn't available to creators before, and now it's being available. Because one of the things I always hate is I have the vision, but I don't have the budget of a Hollywood studio, and you're making it so I don't need the budget. All I need is the vision.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the things that I think the creators who were saying the file sizes are so big.
Yeah.
moving the data around, doing that. It's not free. And so I think it's great that we'll bring this to all the creators, let them use it for free on YouTube and kind of democratize the technology.
And I know, like, to your earlier question, like sometimes creators are like, why AI? And I think like we've all seen classic upscaling is like it doubles the bits and then you have like little squares, and that's not what anybody wants.
Yep.
And what I love now is like in this generation of computer vision where it starts to understand these pixels are a cloud, these pixels are rope, these pixels are somebody's face, these pixels are sky, and it treats each of those things differently so that when it's upscaled, it's intelligent. It's not just like a pixel double.
Yeah, and I mean, we were looking at some of the examples, they look great. And then, obviously we're going to try to always get it looking really, really good. But if for some reason on a certain piece of content or a filming technique, it doesn't look great, the creators can turn it off and viewers can opt out.
But the other thing that's exciting, I'm totally getting into Jacqueline nerd space here.
Yeah.
Is like when it's on server side, you're going to get the best of the current version of the server. It's not like one and done, and that's the best it'll ever be. It's like as you improve the product, it becomes better for everybody.
Yeah, that's the other great thing about doing it in the cloud and doing it not on the hardware side is it doesn't matter what hardware you have, we'll keep making it better and better and better. So yeah, we're really excited about it.
Yeah, it feels like a very different thing than upscale. Because I think when people hear upscale, they're going to just assume like you go into Final Cut Pro and you like double the resolution. But this is like actually intelligently like looking at the pixels and then making it sharper.
Yeah, I mean, like the limits of this technology is so exciting to me. When you sort of look at your videos, like whether on the phone, whether on the television, how do you start thinking about a world where people are watching more on TV?
Yeah, that is a great question because we were actually just talking about this also off pod. Last week we interviewed Bridget Medler.
You did a pre-pod.
Yeah,
it's coming out now.
It sounds like we have a whole
pre-pod going on.
He's amazing, so it was irresistible. But we interviewed Bridget Medler last week for our interview show. The background of her is like she's a Disney star, then pivoted, went to MIT, started a space company. She's so cool. And we did like a 45-minute episode, and I was talking today to some of the team about if we should like reduce that episode and try to make it 10 minutes or 20 minutes. And the conclusion we came to is people are watching more and more on TV. And if you look at the watch time viewership, like for us, it's like 30% of our audience watches on TV, and they watch for longer. So it feels like the strategic move over the longer term would be to make an episode longer and then make short. So if people want something shorter, they watch on that. So I feel like when I think about it broadly, it's like make the best video possible, but then also experiment with longer watch time and see what happens. And also from a format perspective, it feels like if it's auto playing, the first 30 seconds of the video become exponentially even more important. Like you really want to make them as visually compelling as possible and create a lot of like curiosity gaps as possible.
I've talked to a lot of the creators I've talked to said historically what they would do is they would film video, they'd go into post-processing, they'd have something, and they would get really nervous if it was long because their mental model was everyone on YouTube is watching on a smaller screen, like a computer or a phone. But now as they see and they go into our analytics product and they're seeing the TV viewership, we rolled out really recently, earlier this year, you can view it right on your phone.
Yeah.
So right in the mobile studio on your phone, you can see your viewership. But as that's kind of become more apparent to creators that viewers are watching on TV, they're starting to experiment with longer and longer videos where they don't try to post-process it down artificially.
Yeah, I think that's the key. Like, you don't want anyone making something artificially long because then people will be bored, they'll skip ahead, they'll dip out. But you don't want to like make a bad story just to compress it into like when someone's fidgeting on their phone or like trying to get off their desk. This lets you make like as short as it can be but no shorter, as long as it can be but no longer.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's a real sweet spot.
Have you noticed like an average watch time of videos that do the best on TV?
I think it's the other way around. Like I think a lot of times people wonder, like, what does the algorithm want me to do? And it's the algorithm trying to figure out what people want.
Totally.
So for this, I think as people like you experiment, it's the quality of the content that's holding them, not the specific duration. Is that what you're finding too?
Yeah, I mean, when I talk to creators, it's kind of all over the map depending on what kind of content they're making, what the topic is, what their audience is. But generally what I've heard is as creators see more and more viewers watching on TV and they experiment with longer and longer content, viewers kind of come along for the ride because what we hear from viewers, like I mentioned, is they want to turn something on TV, they want to sit down, they want to watch longer, and if your audience is bigger on TV, those kind of formats work.
Yeah, and we're hearing like people don't have the attention span for long content anymore, but like near and dear to your world, when people are watching sports or they're watching like one of these, they'll watch a 2-hour, 3-hour podcast, not even think about it because it's the quality of the relationship, not the duration of the time.
Do you think people know that YouTube is like the #1 podcast platform now?
I think YouTube is like exactly what you said, like overnight success, 10 years in the making.
Yeah, I mean, just on TV alone, there's 400 million hours of podcast watch every month.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah, so people are using, YouTube on TVs like they would have tuned into late night talk shows. I think I mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
And the creators are making just incredible podcasts.
Because I watch a ton of podcasts. Like I'll watch like Diary of a CEO or Alex Cooper, and I feel like the intimacy that you get, and also like once you're kind of committed, you're locked in unless like something really uninteresting happens in the episode. Whereas I feel like mobile viewership, it's like maybe you're constantly looking for like what else you're gonna watch,
or you're just moving around, like it's like your turn to order now.
Yeah.
The other thing, and I'm sure you can relate to this, one of the banes of my existence over the years is thumbnail too big. Thumbnail re-render, JPEG down.
Oh,
JPEG
meaning
quality.
like you've hit above the 2 megabytes?
It's like now it's at like JPEG compression 9, it's too big. JPEG compression 8, finally I'm at JPEG compression 5 and it uploads. And my resolution, and I have to make all these compromises. And this is like low key, I think, gonna be a sleeper hit just because quality of life is, you don't care what size thumbnail I upload anymore.
Well, yeah, so one of the other things that we're rolling out now-ish and we've been working on for a while is really thinking about what are some of the core things that YouTube has that are going to be different on TV. And one of them, of course, on these big, beautiful TV screens is the thumbnails can be bigger and you want them to look really sharp and really crisp. And the thumbnail uploading process and the file sizes, I think, was originally born out of YouTube on the phone and YouTube on the web. And so the file sizes didn't need to be as big. The resolution didn't need to be so high. And one of the things we're doing as we kind of take these YouTube systems, these core systems, and bring them to the TV world is looking at a lot of these things. And one of the things we noticed is, why can a creator only upload 2 megabytes? Like, you can't really get a big, beautiful 4K image that we might want to show full screen in our TV product with 2 megabytes. So we're getting rid of that limit. We're going to make the limit much higher. I think it's going to be around 50 megabytes.
Wow.
And so really creators can make a big, beautiful thumbnail in whatever imaging software they want. They don't have to think about resizing it or bringing it down. They can give it to us. We'll take the original in. We'll make all the different versions. I think today we make a version, the highest version we make is 720. Yeah. But we'll start making a 1080p version. We'll start making a 4K version. And then in different parts of our product on TV, we'll actually start serving 4K thumbnails. And so, again, for viewers where we do show thumbnails, it's going to look much, much better on the big screen, which I think creators are going to love.
I think I'm allowed to say this, but I've been helping your team stress test this because they're like, throw us the biggest thumbnails you can, and I'm going PNG because like a ping file, if it's like very few colors or very contiguous colors, it's small. But if you start doing like full photographs, like I sent them the one of Christian and Michelle Carre, which is like a full photograph, and they're like more, and it was like fine. And I can't tell you there is part of me as a creator who's just like, why can't YouTube just figure it out? And this feels like one of those things where YouTube is just figuring it out.
This is why I love talking to creators too. This idea was born from a creator. They're like, why do you have a 2 megabyte limit and you're showing these thumbnails on TV? And I was like, that's a great question. We need to fix that. And so it's why I love having all these conversations with creators, because I get so much feedback and we hear so many things that we could be doing better. And so this is an example, and I'm really excited to get it out there for all the creators.
It's interesting because any problem is a problem at scale, right?
Yes.
So it's like, if you just wanted to like stop the limit for one creator, no problem. But it's like thousands of creators are now going to be uploading massive files. So now you need the infrastructure to handle massive files. So I feel like anytime there's like a new feature, there's so much like hidden work that enables it.
I mean, like, it's like, creator problem, data center problem. And as a creator, I am like a huge fan of that, like that strategy. Looking forward, Jacqueline, when you were thinking about like not just the videos you're making now, but the videos you want to make in the future, and I have like a little bit of insight into that because I know how ambitious and how like, much of a visionary you are. What are you looking for from people like Kurt to help you bring your vision to life?
Ooh, that is a great question. First of all, thank you. Yeah, I think for us, we're trying to make, become the most trusted source for technology information, where it's like, can we help people understand what the future is going to look like, whether it be like new nuclear reactors or preventative MRIs or talking to Sam Altman about the future of AI. Like, those types of videos, I really want to try to reach like a generalist audience that doesn't feel positive about technology and then help them feel positive. Like, I feel like optimism is like a gene that you can just like turn on. So when I think about like formats, it's like, can we make the videos longer? Can we reach people in shorts and long form? I think one of the cool algorithm adjustments a few years ago was kind of like linking shorts and long form, because I feel like in the past it was like you would have shorts viewers and they were kind of like siloed from your long form viewers. And I think a big change was like the algorithm taking both into account. And so I wonder what are other ways that YouTube can kind of combine the experience where like if someone really likes a short form video, can we then like have the algorithm? Okay, I kind of have two feature requests. One's like unhinged. I don't know if YouTube would do it, but I would love if there was a way to like A/B test hooks for videos. So like right now we have like A/B tests for thumbnails and titles. It would be so cool if you could A/B test the first 15 seconds of a video, because I feel like that really makes or breaks performance. Like, could I try like?
So correct me if I'm wrong, like A/B test thumbnails, and they're like, give us titles. We give you titles, you're like hooks. We'll give you hooks, you'll be like CTAs.
Oh,
like,
100%. Yeah, the list is gonna go on and on. But I feel like hooks is like.
Just let me A/B test the whole video.
I mean, yes, but like if hooks are auto-playing on TV, I think it'd be so cool. Like, let's say we're working on this nuclear reactor episode. Maybe like one version of it, I start with like the history of like why nuclear reactors have traditionally gone wrong, and then in one version, I'm like, I'm in a nuclear reactor right now. Like, here's what we're gonna do. Like, and then we can see which one resonates more with the audience. I think as a creator, we're spending like sometimes like tens of thousands of dollars on episodes, and it would be like very empowering if like you could adjust the first 15 seconds. So that's one that comes to mind. And then the other one is like maybe like creating like pairings. Like, I really want to create a world for people that watch the videos, and it would be cool if it's like this long form video then relates to these 3 short form videos, and if you're in the show, like this is like what the path of discovery.
Yeah, those are great. I mean, those are great ideas, and I think it kind of is literally what we're building. You know, I mentioned earlier, we're trying to build something where all these content formats work great. You can move between them. And so again, if you're discovering a creator via shorts, you can subscribe, you can pivot quickly into their full VODs or their show, and just easily navigate through all these different formats, no matter what formats they are. Shows, documentaries, music, gaming, etc. And so it's in just a broad area we're going to continue to invest in, especially as more and more and more viewers continue to watch on TV. Nailing all these things is going to be critical for us. And so we're going to continue to keep working to make sure creators like you can build a business on TV, get great viewership on TV, and just build a thriving community on TV.
Have you noticed with like TV viewership increasing, is the type of viewership on mobile increasing for shorts but not VODs, or is it kind of like everything is just going up overall?
All the tides rise with TV. You know, we spent a lot of time looking at the data and trying to figure out, as TV viewership goes up, does that mean everyone's winning? And the answer is resoundingly yes. And when I talk to creators too, who are seeing more and more viewership on TV, they're seeing kind of like their overall viewership going up. So it's a win for everybody. And that's just generally how I think YouTube's always been throughout history. Is the great thing about being a creator is you film once, upload once. We handle putting it in all these places, and as viewers watch, whether it's a VR headset, a mobile phone, or a TV screen, we'll make the content work across all, and make sure wherever the viewers are viewing it, it's great.
That's cool.
I think, like, you and I have been podcasting long enough that we've gone through like, oh, podcasts are a thing. Every 3 years, people rediscover podcasts.
Yep.
Like, podcasts are a thing again. But I think like most recently, what's empowered that is exactly what you're talking about, is podcasts plus people putting up shorts of those podcasts. Like, the clips have become so powerful, and people are discovering not just podcasts, but like creators through the clips of their podcasts. And it's not directly or exclusively to television, but like, I love the idea that one of the things YouTube announced is an easy way for creators to make, like, you know, some creators have their own clips channel and their own shorts channel. Some creators do their own clips. Now, like, Gemini will help you find the best moments in your very longer form video and make a clip out of it or make a short out of it. So if you are living in shorts, maybe they'll discover your nuclear reactor video with that. Like, maybe you're not A/B testing hooks, but you're A/B testing shorts of those hooks, and then they're finding those and wanting to watch your whole show.
Is it based on retention graphs?
It's based on a lot of factors. Like, one of the things I was looking at, and this is like peripheral to this, but I've been feeding my podcasts and my videos into Gemini, and I do two things. I say, like, give me a list of all the best quotes from this episode, because as a person, it takes me a long time to find those.
Yep.
But Gemini will give me a list, and I'll say, like, give me 5 more. And then I'm also doing like roast my video, roast it harder, and it'll come back and like, because like roasting a script is one thing, but after it looks at it, it'll be like, well, you know, and it'll give me like, this was kind of slow. You could have done this better. You could have bulleted this, and all of those things just feed into the cycle. And I think the more that these products learn about videos, the smarter, like multifaceted way they'll be showing us those highlights.
Yeah, it'd be really cool if like Gemini could analyze the retention graph for when people convert as like a subscriber and then clip that as like the short. Like I feel like YouTube's biggest advantage is that you guys have all of the data, and it'd be really cool if like all of the data then informed like what the content
Well, there's
was.
Heatseeker, right? That shows like the most watched moments already. Like, there's a lot of those things that, I think we're going to exciting times, Kurt, and I'd love to know, and I know we can't do spoilers because people are watching, but like, what's your vision for the next couple of years of YouTube on TV?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, I think what I'm most excited about is, again, leading into these things that are so unique about YouTube. One of the main ones is all the content formats we have. We've talked a little bit about that. But also, I'll mention it again, is making the lean-in experience great, where you can, whether it's with your remote control or it's pulling out your phone and using your phone as sort of a companion to the TV experience, and just having a really great experience on the TV for anything you might want to do related to the video, whether that's writing a comment, whether that's going into a community feed and seeing all the posts from their creator, but just making the overall experience of YouTube really great on the TV. That's kind of what I'm most excited about, because we really are bleeding a path. We are the new TV. We're building a lot of things that have never been done before, and that's what excites me the most.
Love it. I don't want to call out my god kids on this, but I'm totally going to do it. They will have like the TV playing a video. They'll have something on their phone. They'll be editing their own video on the laptop, and they're just handling all this like it's totally normal, where I would be like not sure where to look. And I think we're increasingly moving into that world as well, like multi-device and all these things.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of third-party research that says just when people are watching TV, they have their phone out at the same time. And we see it too on YouTube. Like, there'll be a video playing on the TV, and viewers pull out their phone and they read the comments for the video, so you can get a kind of uninterrupted experience. And we're building a lot of products to make that more seamless, easier to use. And so, I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, I feel like if you're a creator, there's never been a better time to make like a career-led media company. And YouTube's the only platform where you get long form, shorts, podcasts. Like, it's just so exciting to me that there are so many formats. You can kind of like build like a house of brands where it's just
and so many different ways to monetize, which
100%.
I think is really important to a lot of
that's
different
cool
creators.
too.
Yeah. Jacqueline, Kurt, thank you so much for your time. I really love this. I think like YouTube has never been more exciting on television, and I'm so glad that we could talk about it.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so fun.